Hello and welcome back to Josh Trade Wars. Welcome to another video, and today I'm going to show you a bit more complex uh, things about trading. Today I'm going to teach you level 2 in time and sales. Now if you're curious or confused on why level 2 and not level 1, level 2 isn't really a level. It's something that helps you in the market. So it's really, but I'm going to show you one. Level 2 in time and sales is very important. I'm going to show you why you need those and how it works. So let's get on. Okay, first we're going to start with level 2. What is a level 2? A level 2 shows detailed market data for a stock, including all the current buy and sell orders at a different price and sizes. It lets traders see how much interest there is in buying or selling and helps them spot possible trading opportunities. Now you can see right here, level 2. This is in Webull, so this is how I see it. It's similar to this, but it can be different on different brokerages. But for now, I use Webull, so it looks like this. So I'm gonna break it down. First, we have the shares. This is how much someone is buying. They're buying 100 shares or 82 shares or 16 shares at the bid of $200.84. 100 shares at the bid of $280.84. And right here, so this is the buy and this is the sell. You can tell by the green and red. So it should be easy to differentiate. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Differentiate the two. Now, if we go to the ask or the sell, we have someone selling 300 shares at $201.10. So you can see by this red bar that there's more selling power. And this is kind of like a battle. So the top, you want to focus on the top, and then the bottom ones are kind of like future ones, like more later on. And it gets lower and for the bid it gets lower, so you can see 47, then 0 0.7, 0 0.5, and then it goes down a dollar and goes to 94, 52, 50, 38. And for the ask, it increases, so you can see 10, 16.25, 0.75, 0.74, but it actually went up $2, so 203.74, then 95. So it works like that. And by this red bar, like I was saying, you can see that the sellers have more power. So when the sellers have more power, you can tell by right here. This area right here shows you the volume of those shares. So there's more volume or more red shares than the green share, and this helps you know that the stock market it's going down. So this means that the bears have more control. So if you were to sell, if you were a seller, you would sell on this level. You would sell at the moment because the sellers have more power. If it was the opposite, then you would buy because the buyers have more power. But you can see right now the sellers. But if you don't know what bid and ask is, I did show you a previous video on what these mean. But if you don't know what it means, I'm going to share right now. A bid represents the highest price a buyer is willing to pay for a particular asset at a given time, and the ask price is the lowest price at which a seller is willing to sell a security or asset. So someone is willing to sell 300 shares at $201.10. Someone is willing to buy 100 shares at $200.84. But because someone is willing to sell more shares at this level, that's the level is mainly gonna reach. So yeah, that is the level 2. Now for the time and sales. Now, what is time and sales or the tape? Time and sales or tape, that is we call it the tape. This gives a live feedback of trades happening for stocks, showing the time, price, and the number of shares in each trade. It helps traders see market activity and spot possible trading signals by watching how buying and selling is happening. So if you see a lot of red, that means there's a lot of selling going on. If you see a lot of green, that means there's a lot of uh, buying going on. So up and down. If there's white, then that just means in the spread, at the level right there, it's just neutral. You want to focus on the red and green. If there's a lot of white, then it's just like moving, consolidating, I guess, not really moving as much. But let's break this down. This bar right here is the time. This is the price they bought it. This, the third row, is the amount of shares. This is Webull, by the way, and the last one is where they bought it. So they bought it on the Nasdaq stock, and I'll get onto that in a later video. But this really doesn't have that much concerns. You can see, you can take this off right here and just show these three, and it'll be just as useful. You really don't need this as much because you can see it's like nothing there in Nasdaq. But let's focus on this three. So the time, share, the amount. So sorry, share and the amount. So someone bought 2 shares of $3.24 or one at 9:21.52. That it shows you the exact time. And yeah, so this can help you see how the market is doing live. If you see a lot of red with like 200 or 600 or 500 or 200 shares selling because it's red, then it means the stock is going down. But if you see a lot of green with 200, 500, 200, 100, that means the stock is going up because there's a lot of shares buying it. The more shares someone is buying, the more it goes up. And yeah, and this shows you the price. You can see what the price is. So this is really useful to combine with the level 2, because you need the level 2 and the tape or the time and sales. It's called the time and sales or the tape. You can call it whatever. But you need these two together. One cannot work without the other. And I'm going to show you how day traders use this. So, how do we use this when day trading? You have to be able to react quickly. Or, yeah, you have to be able to react quickly. Sorry, yeah. React quickly. You have to have your eyes focus on the level 2, you can see, and the chart. On level 2, you can usually see a bunch of sell or buy orders at the physiological prices at a whole dollar or a half dollar. Oh, I forgot the R. But what this essentially means that you're more likely to buy something that costs $1.50 instead of $1.75. See that physiological mindset? Everyone has that. They would rather buy something that costs $2 than it costing $1.75. Even though it's lower, their physiological mind goes to that number, just a whole number, not a complex number like $1.75, $1.86. They will go to the whole price, $2. That is why you usually see prices of candy or stuff at $1 or $1.50. So this can help you buy or sell at these levels, expecting a bounce or resistance. So if it hits $1.50, you can react quickly, look at the level 2 or the tape and the tape, and see if it's gonna bounce or resist. If there's a lot of buyers, then you can see that it's gonna bounce. If there's a lot of buyers on the level 2, you can see that it's gonna bounce. If there's a lot of sellers at the level 2, at the dollar or at the whole dollar or half dollar, you can see that's gonna be a resistance. You can take that opportunity to sell. This is good so you can trade with who is winning the battle. So when it comes to trading, there's always a battle between the buyers and the sellers. The bulls or the bears, and I want to trade when the bulls are winning. So who's winning the battle, the bulls or the bears? The bulls are, remember, up and the bears are down. And I usually trade buying, so I don't really sell as much. I think it's really risky, and I'm gonna get into a video on the risk of buying and selling. But I think selling is really risky, so I'd rather buy most of the time. But when I read the level 2, it helps me see who's winning the battle. So if the bulls are winning the battle, I'm gonna ride that momentum and go up with them, so buying. But if the bears are winning the battle, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna stay out of it and wait for my strategy, my signal. But if you sell, you can use the opportunity to sell, and boom, you can be winning. You can be winning with the trade. Over time, you build an educated intuition. That's what I have. But of course, so sorry. Over time, you will build an educated intuition. So over time, this will become second nature to you. That's the point of trading. You want this to become second nature. That's why I tell you to go on paper trading, and get used to it. Play with it a lot. That's pause. So this can become second nature. So you can just react quickly. Every trader that succeeds in day trading has this educated intuition, because it becomes second nature to them. Once it becomes second nature to you, it's very easy, and once it's easy, you'll find very a lot of success. But of course, just don't just buy on level 2 and tape. You need to read on chart patterns to see your strategy. So the level 2 and tape is there to help you. It's there to help you see where these levels of bounce or resistance could happen. It can't just happen the whole dollar, half dollar. It can happen in any dollar amount, any amount. But it's most likely to happen at the half and whole dollar, because they're physiological prices. But the level 2 and tape helps you indicate if it's a good time to buy or sell. That's why you have indicators, because they help you to know when to buy and sell. So when it comes to trading, you have to look at a lot of things. You have to be, that's why I said at the beginning, able to react quickly. You want to have your eyes moving a lot and react quickly, and think quickly as well. But that's what these indicators, the level 2, the tape, help you with. They help you see prices, because you can't just trade using the candlesticks. Yes, it helps, but it's a lot more helpful using these indicators, the level 2, the tape, and other for other traders they use a lot more, like RSI. I don't really use that. I just stick to the EMA and all that. But yeah, it's really depending on how you are. That's why I tell you again, paper trade and find yourself and see what you're good at. And once you're good at it, and if that strategy is good, continue on that strategy. And to remember, always have that mindset. It's always good to have that mindset and be strong and disciplined when it comes to trading, because this is a very hard job. But yeah, that is all for today. That is how you read the level 2 in tape. I'm gonna upload more. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like it, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.